Hi, good morning. I am Shashank Roy. I am recording this small clip, try to be as concise as possible, to talk about a very important part of uh, my life, our lives, uh, and how it's harming us, and how can we get out of it. That part is called smoking and vaping. I mean, vaping is government has put regulations on vaping, so there might not be a lot of vapors around. But of course, you know every other person who's a smoker right now. And earlier there was ignorance. Earlier there were folks who would think that smoking is good for their health. Remember in the 1960s or the 70s era where smoking ads were popular in the market. There was a big billboard of Will's Classic and three guys standing near Will's Classic and talking. I mean, making it look like it's so cool to smoke. But then eventually, people realize that smoking is not healthy for us, and that realization came to hit us. Government started putting regulations around it. Even though the government has put regulations around the health effects and puts some image on the cigarette boxes, they still earn from it. So I'm going to talk about that. So and see how I can help folks get out of this hideous habit, get out of this uh, killing habit. It's if you talk about numbers, and I've picked up these numbers from a lot of articles I saw online, validated information, and that's how I put out numbers. India is the second largest smoking community, and this is just not right. We have the largest population. I understand that's how our smokers are also very high. Uh, the government flourishes, by making you smoke. That's one thing. Another aspect why India has the largest smokers. China has the largest smokers. India has the second largest smokers. Facts. Let me talk about who am I to talk about smoking as a habit, right? Why should I be the one who's been chosen, or I'm choosing myself to talk about it, right? So I've I've uh, I've been completely off cigarettes. Uh, I mean, I was a classic mild smoker. I was a chain smoker. I used to have 20 cigarettes a day. My wife and my friends are proof that I was a chain smoker. We can very well validate that information. But I started this journey of not or going towards not smoking or trying to completely go off smoking 6 or 7 years back, and it was only the time period in the first 1.5 years, the realization that it's a problem was itself very, very important. I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of time for folks. It breaks relationships. It's hard. There is a lot of uh, you know uh, a lot of many people telling you, hey, it's okay, we should die soon. That's the idea. Let's live our life and die. But really, that's the question. Another fact is nicotine patches of gums don't work. They're the worst invention by humankind. It doesn't. It just prolongs your smoking habit. It doesn't do anything. I don't know anyone who has been able to quit. Who's been able to go off smoking through the nicotine patches or the gums route. In fact, I feel that nicotine gums have more nicotine than cigarettes itself. So what can you do about it, right? And the video and the clip here is talking about what can you do about it. Let's first understand. I was just saying, acknowledging it is a big part of the uh, you know challenge. I would say, big part of the problem. Once you start calling this as an addiction, haunt you are haunting yourself. So do not start calling this as an addiction. Don't run away from calling this as a problem as well, but more you procrastinate, more you're going to suffer. So it's better that you realize the problem, that it is a problem. And it's not telling anybody else, it's not telling your friends, your family that, hey, I have a problem. It's self realization. It's that switch in your mind which needs to be needs to be turned off. I mean, as you read here, I have a friend. I had a friend who was telling me. I don't want to quote him. I don't want to name him basically. He gave me a very nice trick that there are switches in your mind which can be turned off, and we all need to know to control our mind more than anything else. And that triggered a very important aspect in my life where I could I could switch off this. I constantly was thinking about switching off that switch, find that switch in my mind. uh, and yeah, and let's talk about numbers, right? And again, I know in this current era we are all most of the folks who would be viewing this probably would have a bachelor's degree, so they definitely understand what numbers I'm talking about, and probably have a master's degree, probably have been smoking for a while, and understand what I'm speaking, right? So this is for those viewers, and of course anyone can benefit from this. But if you see, tobacco is a $200 billion industry. It's simply using the aspect of our weakness and earning so much. Number of cigarettes produced a day is 6.5 trillion cigarettes produced a year. I mean, that's if you equate to 6.5 trillion number of people, that's a lot of number. That means on an average, a person smokes one cigarette a day. There are 6.5 million people smoking every day. I mean, if you just look at the number, there are 1 billion people smoking right now. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about what are the harmful effects of cigarettes, but this video, this clip is specifically dedicated for folks who want to get off it. So there are 4,000 different chemicals in cigarettes. So it could be I mean, other than nicotine, there are other lot of other harmful chemicals which causes cancer. We all understand that. Yeah, this so let's talk about the real issue, right? And how, I mean, uh, how do we get off it? I've devised this in three simple steps from my own experience. As I was saying, step one is realizing the problem. That solves the 90% of the aspect. And it could be that you start testing your weight. You go to the doctor and understand your O2 levels. Uh, and get off that mindset that it's cool, it's not cool. It could be cool for others to watch you, but is it cool for yourself? You need to understand that. Most folks, millennials, I will say, people who are in my group would understand this, that the term of being cool was coined back in our college or late schooling. That's where people started thinking that this is a cool thing to do, but it's not at all. uh, Again, I'm saying this is not at all cool. Start testing your O2 levels, start testing your blood levels, understand what's happening. Start checking, getting your lungs tested, so you would understand this is a serious problem. And most importantly, it sounds very simple, but it's very important. Habits are formed in the head, and our head is the strongest, right? The most strongest muscle in our mind is the brain. And changing, it's that realization that you can control everything from your head. And it's common for both the genders, men, women, and other genders as well. It's common for everyone. It's common for every human. So change your routine. You could find a routine that works best for you. So I started focusing on my morning routines. I included morning as a big part of my day. The best part of the day is my mornings, where I would understand and plan my day, focus on family, focus. I was starting to realize that they are my motivators. I started to realize that I need to take care of myself if I have to take care of others, and understand that it's harming you more than planning. It's Look at the scientific proofs, look at government data. You'll understand that, and uh, create a stress-free environment. a lot of people go after cardio. Some folks realize that it's yoga which works for them. So again, it was the morning routine for me, but it could be a well planned day for you, which would help you focus on goals in your on during the day rather than focusing on taking a short break unnecessarily, and create a stress free environment, right? And try to focus on what's important for yourself. So again, habits are formed in your head, so focus on that 90-day routine where you could go off cigarettes during that 90-day plan for that 90-day. And this is the biggest step which I think can be done. But all of the steps which I spoke before were important for me to reach here. So I did an overall plan. I approached it with a plan. I was not abruptly saying, "Hey, I'm going to go off cigarettes tomorrow. I'm not going to smoke at all." It doesn't work like that. So my plan somehow looked like this: that the first week I was going 20 cigarettes per day. Second week I did 19 cigarettes per day. Then third week I went to 18 cigarettes per day, and so on and so forth. So it was a gradual reduce for me. It didn't look like a lot of hard work, so it was easier. So going from 20 to 19 was easier. 19 to 20, 18 was easier. So these were steps. As you see, the steps are important, and it cannot be a jump. So remember that the jump in this will not work for you, but steps will work. And this way you don't have to push yourselves too much. Your mind also adjusts to the new routine which you have taken up recently. And you know what, your circle is also very important. You have to explain your friends that you are firm about this, that you're not going to smoke. There will be people who would see that, hey, it's okay, man, this one fag more doesn't make a lot of sense, but you have to be stern about it. And people understand, if you are if you care about yourself, people will understand, and they will understand that it's self care. It's not motivated by anything else. Fortunately, it was that I have good friends. I've had really close ones, and the circle was very supportive. So but there were folks, right, who were who wanted me to be back in this vicious cycle. uh, I kind of cut myself off from them. So I understood then I don't need them. So that's how that's how I approached this. This was very important. The most important steps are before this. Let me say that again. But this step is also important. You need to focus on gradual reduce, and that's how I went off cigarettes. When you and the trigger is that when you go off from 1 to 0, right? And that took a little time for me, but that's a switch which you would be able to understand yourself, that I need to switch off from this, from smoking. From one cigarette a week to no cigarettes a week is a switch off. You need to take care. And by this, I just want to thank you for listening to me. I don't want to be taking more time. I'm done with what I have to explain. But you can hit me up anytime you want. I can talk about this all day long. Give you a routine. Work with you to plan your day. I can do all that for you. This is very specifically to this group which I'm sharing, and hope this helps. And I'm trying to see if this helps as well. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.